In high school, class participation counted as, I forget the exact percentage it was, but it did count towards a significant portion of your grade in my school. And I'm sure the same applied to you when you went to school, or applies to you now if you're still currently attending school. And to students like me, this was absolute hell because I preferred to just sit in the back, sink into the shadows, and not be noticed by any of the students or the teacher because I just didn't want to fucking be there. And of course, multiple times throughout my life, the teacher would call me up at random to answer a question either verbally or on the board, which the latter was always worse because that involved, of course, going up in front of the class and writing out your answer. And God, that was such fucking torture. I would be sweating. My palms would be sweaty, my head would be sweaty because I would be so fucking nervous about potentially embarrassing myself in front of the class. Even if I know the answer I'm putting down is correct, there is still that slim possibility that I could have gotten the answer wrong, and I would put it in front of the whole class to see, and the whole class would think I'm an idiot and say, how can he get that one question wrong? That question was so easy. Or other erroneous thoughts would swim through my head. I also don't think I have the best handwriting ever. I mean, it's not bad, or at least I don't think it's bad. When I'm in a calm environment, my mind is at ease and I'm writing slowly, but when I'm up in front of the class, wanting to go back to my seat as quickly as possible, and I'm scribbling an answer down, it's certainly not pretty, and that's also something I begin to worry about because I start to think, what if the class thinks I'm an idiot for not only potentially getting this answer wrong, but also thinks I'm an idiot for having sloppy handwriting? Ooh, double whammy right there. And you might say, well, just write slower then. Well, you're kind of on a time crunch when you're writing on the board in front of the class because you don't want to waste only the teacher's time, but also the class's time because the teacher has a lesson to teach. They can't wait all day for you to write slowly so your handwriting is all neat and pretty looking on the board. And the class certainly doesn't want to wait because they don't want extra homework because a lot of my teachers in high school, if they were unable to finish a lesson, they would just dump the rest on you for homework. Oh, go home and copy the rest of these slides, or go home and do this assignment that we were supposed to complete in class, but we were unable to because I didn't get to it during class. Go home, have fun with that. Good luck. I'd rather not be the cause of that, thank you very much. And the very few times I actually did choose to participate in class because maybe I just needed it for a boost in my grade, I would still be petrified to no end because even if I knew the answer was correct, I would raise my hand, the teacher would call on me and say, oh, Michael, you haven't answered anything in a while, or I barely hear from you. I hate hearing that, by the way. But anyways, even when I would voluntarily participate, even when I know the answer is right, I still get washed up with so much fear because what if I say the wrong answer, or what if this goes wrong, what if that goes wrong? I just can't help but have these kind of thoughts, man, and it's such fucking torture because sometimes I do want to participate, sometimes I do want my voice to be heard in class, but I just can't out of some irrational fear that I will embarrass myself in some kind of way. And that fear is seeped with many instances where I did do that. There were many times where I had to go in front of the class and answer a question or just verbally answer a question, and I would get it so horribly wrong that sometimes the kids would laugh at me, and then that would just make me instantly regret even wanting to participate in the first place, so that deterred me even further from wanting to voluntarily participate. And many of those times, the fear itself fucked me over, because there would be some instances where I would be so nervous, I wouldn't be fully concentrating, and then I go up and put down my answer, and it would be the correct answer, for the wrong question, and that has happened far too many times in my life, and I have been laughed at a couple of times for that, and instead of brushing it off, I end up feeling like shit, I end up feeling like such an embarrassment and an idiot, and feel like the whole class thinks I'm just a giant fucking laughing stock. This happened a lot during that stupid math class I had to take during summer of 2019. Uh, that teacher was so big on class participation. She would call up students all the time to put answers on the board, and she would call me up a lot of times to put the answer up, and a lot of the times I would do exactly what I described, be so overcome with fear that I don't concentrate fully and then end up putting the right answer to the wrong question on the board, and sometimes I would have no clue what the fuck I'm even doing, and a lot of the times I wouldn't even ask for help because I feel like I would be bothering the teacher because thank you social anxiety for that. Anyways, so I would just put some bullshit that I made up on the fly on the board and end up embarrassing myself even further by not only getting the answer wrong, but just getting it so horribly wrong where it just doesn't make sense at all if you catch my drift. And no, I wasn't laughed at, but I fucking know that at least some of those kids thought I was an absolute moron. And you might say, well, obviously those kids aren't proficient at math either if they were in a math summer class, because the reason why I and all those other kids were in that class to begin with is because we all bombed a placement exam that we were required to take prior to the semester starting. But still, I was at a level below all of these kids because I am just so horrible at math. So having to participate in front of the whole class and having to do math at the same time, really a deadly combo for me, because those are just two things that I'm just horrible at, that I never want to do, and I am so happy that I never, ever, ever have to take math again for the rest of my life. Fast forward to now, I'm taking a Spanish class. It's a beginner's class, so it's a very easy class, especially since I live with family that can speak Spanish, and my mom has been a tremendous help at a lot of assignments that I had to do for the class. But my Spanish professor is huge on class participation. She likes to call us out at random all the time in that class, and it's a virtual class, so going in front of the class and having to put something down on the board is obviously something that I don't have to fear, but still, I just don't like having to speak in front of the whole class, okay? Even if it's just virtually, even if it's people that I'm probably never, ever going to see in real life, still, it is just something that I don't like doing at all. And my teacher loves picking on me a lot, and a lot of the times I don't know what to say because I'm not good at speaking Spanish at all. I can type some of it, sure, but not speak it. And I was told from the very beginning that I wouldn't really have to speak Spanish all that much. I just have to, really, the class is just learning how to write in Spanish, but still, we have to answer these questions verbally, and I end up just embarrassing myself because I end up butchering words and saying words completely wrong because I don't know how to pronounce them. And I end up feeling like the biggest idiot ever, even though I'm in a class full of people who are probably about as clueless in Spanish as I am. But still, I can't help but feel these thoughts anyways, because that's just how my mind works. And one time I came into class like, I don't know, 10 minutes late because I was eating breakfast. I woke up a little late. And then like 30 seconds within me joining the class, the teacher's like, okay, Michael, answer this one. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I just entered the class. I don't even know what we're doing yet. But yeah, that was also pretty embarrassing. But anyways, hopefully some of you can relate, or maybe you got a chuckle out of this because you have no problem with class participation at all and think that this is all just irrational, which I wouldn't blame you for thinking that. I am a very irrational person, I know. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.